Welcome to the Front Porch, where we're shooting the breeze podcast style with Savannah's top thinkers and biggest barrier breakers, the quintessentially quirky and the perpetually hip.
Hello and welcome to the Front Porch. My name is B. Ray and I'm with the Creative Coast, and here we are chatting it up podcast style with Courtney Pappy and Tom Kohler. Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Super, so happy to have you.
Thank you.
Tell me about Emergent Savannah.
Well, Emergent Savannah is a loose collection of local activists here in Savannah, and what we do is we're not issue specific, but we try and find things that sort of unite us all together rather than divide us. And our vision's pretty simple. It's culture, community, and conversation. And so we touch on different subjects every month with our program Monday Means Community, but we're also always looking for different ways to sort of bring different people who you never really see in the same room together to talk about things that we all really, when it comes down to it, we really care about.
Monday Meets Community.
Monday Means Community.
Oh, okay, so tell me more about that.
Sure. Tom, do you want to take this one?
Sure. The second Monday of every month we have a panel, usually at the Cynthia Bean Coffee Shop, and we try to look at topics that are current, like the Monday coming up, we're going to do something called Gun Violence. It's not so black and white. And so we try to sort of notice what's happening in the community and try to think of a way to frame it that might be a little more, allow people to think about it a little more deeply, a little more, with a little wider perspective, trying to help people get out of sort of this Facebook screed that trying to pull away from that, deepen the conversation with the word being conversation. Mm-hmm. And so Monday Means Community is one of our ways to do that.
So it's really interesting because I think when the internet happened, we all thought, oh, we're going to be so smart and so connected to the world, and we all did the opposite, right? People had certain ideas and they found support for those ideas and ran farther in that direction, and then someone who had the opposite ideas found only friends that believed the same way, and the science shows that indeed the internet has divided us more than brought us together. And it sounds like you're a little bit of an antidote against that.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I think we're not here to beat up on the internet
Okay.
because the internet has done many wonderful things, yes. Cat videos included. But I mean, one of the things I think we're really interested in is sort of doing away with a lot of the old narratives that are really specific to Savannah, but also specific to how these conversations usually go, which is, I'm right, you're not. And what really gets lost in that is that for the most part, we all kind of feel the same way, we just might sort of express it differently. And so what our goal is to sort of re-foster a connection back to one another, so we're not just sort of being like, well, that person feels different from me, so I'm going to put my guard up. So that's really, that's what we're about.
And how did the two of you come together on this mission?
Oh, Lordy. I think probably about a year ago, there was sort of just a general sense of frustration with people here in Savannah. I mean, Tom, both of us are native Savannahans, and I had just moved back from New York, and really quickly you can kind of pick up on that frustration here in the city, and we all sort of came together in a really glamorous way of sitting on someone's, ground floor apartment and sort of talking about, well, what can we do? And from there it sort of picked up steam. And the same people kept showing up every Monday at 8 o'clock, and then all of a sudden you have this, moment where you've got Brooke Stillwell on stage talking about how civics works, and you're like, oh, so this thing did stick. And so here we are almost a year later, and now we've got a really great following, we've fostered some really interesting conversations, and we kind of got this view into the future that looks really positive.
So what is that view? Give me a sense of 5 years out, Savannah is going to be changed and or specifically related to Emergent Savannah?
Well, I think the name itself, Emergent Savannah, describes one of our theories, which is we don't know what the future looks like.
Great.
Right? We don't know. We know it's going to emerge, mm-hmm. And we know that a lot of times what you have to do is sort of build the path as you go, and so we really sort of see it more that way. We've tried consciously not to develop our 5-year vision of Emergent Savannah or even of Savannah, but we're trying to just go step by step by step, listen, 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 notice, 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 and then from that, action will come. So it's really a little bit different way of thinking about how the future comes to us. And so that's what we're trying to do. Some of this would be sort of in a very humble, bastardized way, would come out of some of the theory U work that Otto Scharmer has done at MIT. This idea of leading from the future, leading from the emergent future, rather than sort of letting the past be your guide.
Well, and something that's always stuck with me is actually we featured Chris Miller as one of the guests on our panel about tourism, and one of the things that he said that sort of has stuck with us is Savannah is still trying to decide what it wants to be when it grows up. And that, I think, is really reflective of like who we are and what we're trying to figure out. Are we the hostess city or are we the beloved community? And in a lot of ways, Emergent Savannah is very similar. It's like, well, who do we want to be when we grow up? We know what we want to do now. We know that we want to keep going. But as far as that 5-year plan goes, it gets a little messy and a little unclear in the future. And that's okay.
So I know it's early, but what sorts of things have surprised you so far in getting groups of people together?
Well, a couple of things. I think some people have been surprised how open and accessible people that they thought were powerful are. And so that's been helpful. We really have tried to think about this as a way to enfranchise people that care about Savannah, but for different reasons haven't found a way to express that. And so many of those folks are artists and creatives who work 3 jobs, have an artistic passion, but when you ask them about local politics, they just have chosen not to know about that yet. And so we sort of see ourselves in some ways as sort of a public civics lesson. And we did see on Facebook recently, somebody said, I think Courtney said, "You've made civics cool."
Lovely.
And so that's what we were going for, and so we're seeing some of that. But again, people realizing that Brooke Stillwell or whoever, I mean, they put their pants on the same way that we all do, and you don't have to be so afraid of them. So that's been really helpful. And then I think some of the turnouts. I mean, we've had 150 people come out, and can't turn people away for an event, and they have to schedule a second event to give those people a chance to kind of think this thing through with us. So all that's been surprising. I think the Love Dream project we did early on, which was what do you love about Savannah, what do you dream for Savannah? We had 1,000 people participate, and I mean, you're talking about an organization here that's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in it at the core group and a budget of 0. And so, all in all, not so shabby.
Fabulous. Well, what can we do to help?
We would love it if you showed up at our Monday Means community, which is on the second Monday of every month. You can visit our website, emergentsavannah.org, where you have basically all the information about what we're doing, what we're going to be doing in the future, and if we have any events coming up. We also have a Facebook page where we encourage people to put down their love and their dream project. And basically just kind of keep posted on all the events that we're bringing up. September is going to be a really big month for us. We have a great event calling If I Was Running for Mayor, 5 Visions of Savannah. And I think it's going to be a really exciting event. We're, again, talking about bringing those different types of people into a room that might never been in the same room. We have Kristen Russell, owner of the Sentient Being. We have David Simons.
David
Simons. We'll have George Sebro. We'll also have Regina Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And Jill Marcus will be basically sort of doing the interviewing and moderation for the event.
And John McMaster.
And John McMaster's.
Right.
Great. Well, Courtney and Tom, it's just awesome what you do with Emergent Savannah. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
No, thank you.